you were asked, have you worked remotely? You said yes, when indeed you hadn't worked remotely. The second question, quite literally, right? Mm-hmm. Then they asked you another question. I forget it now, but you didn't have experience on that, and then you said yes. So this is another company, and they ask you whether you have used CAT tools.
Yes.
And you say yes.
Yes.
So if there's anything that you take away from this video, please, kupambana ni uko mbele.
Yes.
Right? Like you get to know whatever it is that they're using, uko mbele. Do research, in short.
So I did 5 interviews.
Okay.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
One was 5 hours, I remember.
5 hours long?
Yes. Being monitored, because they were like, you know how to use CAT tools now. Show us how it...
Proof is in the pudding.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Like I said, I was the only African working for the company. Mm-hmm. And, I felt special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Until I came to learn about the German culture. Those guys are cutthroats. To them it's kind, but to me, I just felt like, you guys, why are you so hard on me? Mm-hmm. Because you see in the morning, I'll be like, hi, how are you? You're well? Mm-hmm. Them, they're like, hi, I want ABCD. Me, I'm like, you don't even know if my cat died. So he tells me, I need you to get on your earphones because I need to tell you something.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, what's up? Mm-hmm. So he tells me, Catherine, unfortunately, I have bad news. The company has decided to restructure and downsize. And I was like, oh, okay. So get on with it. So it's like, unfortunately, the entire Kenyan team is being let go of. So I really needed you. I would have waited until you come back, but I needed you to have this at the back of your mind, even as you vacation. I was like, okay, all right.
Wait, can you please walk us through the emotions? Because, come on, Kat, you are in Italy on holiday.
Yeah, day 2.
Day 2. And then you get a call.
Yes.
Like, ay.
So my heart sank.
Yeah.
I was like, no, what is this? Literally, I felt my heart sink. Mm-hmm. And this feeling was very, it's something I've experienced before. Mm. Something I've not said, in our previous conversations is that every job that I've had has ended, not because of my performance, not because of anything, but the company is either restructuring, the company is, closing. Yeah. So I get affected. Mm-hmm. So all the jobs that I've had, okay? Yeah. So this feeling wasn't new to me, but again, the feeling is like it's new again. Yeah. So the first thought that went to my head was not again, because this, I think, was the sixth time. Yeah, 6th time is happening. So I'm like, the first instinct was to call my dad and tell him, but again, I'm like, you're here for a wedding. It's good vibes. And I remember as well, even for this wedding, I was part of the wedding planning. So I was coordinating lots of people from different countries as well. So it was an exciting project for me. Yeah. So I remember I was with my 2 very good friends and I told them, and they're just like, you know what? You can't go back to Kenya. Yeah. You're here. Like Kenyans say, tupige sherehe. So I was like, okay, fine. But I remember we were going for like a 3-hour drive to where the wedding venue was. But at the back of my mind, I was like, not again. Not again. I just felt like I wanted to scream, cry. But I'm like, you're in a different land. Even if I go back home, I've paid for flights, I've paid for hotels. I was going to Germany as well. I was doing a trip around Europe. So I was like, okay. So I put that at the back of my mind and say, you know what? You only live once. So I was like, I'll figure it out when I go back home. Yeah. So I enjoyed my stay in Europe, had a good time. Then it dawned on me the day I came back and landed. I was like, oh, something else. So on the 3rd day, I don't know what I was doing on my emails, and I saw an email from my local company as well. Okay. That, Catherine, unfortunately, because business has not been doing very well. Thank you for your services. I think we're gonna discontinue the contract for now until things get better. So 2 days in a row, I received 2, my jobs ended.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, wow. Again. Another one.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll figure it out when I come back home. So I came back home, and that's when it hit me. Kathy, you've come back to no job. And remember, I was high flying, high performer. And both of them made me understand that the loss of the job wasn't because of my performance. It's just because economy wasn't doing well in both countries. USA, Kenya, things were not just working out. So companies were just trying as much. And unfortunately, companies, the first way of trying to cut costs is letting go of people. Which I think sometimes is not very well thought through. So I came back. I
mean, that must have had such an implication
it did.
On you
it did.
As an individual, as a career woman, especially now that you're a high performer, and most of us tend to attach your self-worth to your job and your productivity. It's for a moment I questioned myself. Like, was I living a dream? Was I really a high performer? I started second guessing everything. Like, am I the one who did these projects? Why is it always happening to me? Is it to a point I started feeling like there's a spirit following me? And I'm like, who did I wrong somewhere? I started looking back. All of them are saying it's not about my performance. It's just the company. But I'm like, no, it can't be. So to a point, I remember even I'd already started studying for my PMP. I failed those exams miserably because I was like, even if I study, it's the same routine. So I sat all of October. I remember I came back in October after my trip. And I was like, okay, what next? And remember this time I had gone perambulating. All the coins, all the $8, I had saved them. Went and chopped money in Milan. In Europe.
Yeah. I said I will come back and eat kales for 6 weeks. Or go back to my mom. Yes. Or go back to my mom. So my dad came for me. But of course I told my dad. He came for me at the airport. He told me it was going to be well. Come back home. Now me.
The power of support.
Yes. Oh, I had a lot of support from my 2 friends who held me through. One showed me tough love, the one that I really needed. And the other, one is a guy, the other one is a lady. The lady was just there, very emotionally supportive. The other one was like, yo, we need to get up and get moving. Then, of course, I had my parents who really supported me and told me, you know what, come back home. Because I perambulated for sure in Europe. So I went back home. I still maintained my house. But it was in a space that I felt like I was drowning. Because I'd close up myself, not eat. Then I realized I might be sinking into depression. And, at that point, everyone around me is working. Everyone is living their life as they used. And then, like I said, I'm a lover of travel. There's another group calling me, Kathy, you're back. We should go to Mombasa. I'm like, with what money?
I know. You're a golfer.
Yes. Hi. My life has stopped. Okay. Because in my head, I was like, you know what, even if I'm using all this money, I'll come back and, gather it back. And then the good thing with the US company used to pay me 2 times a month. So, nilijua tu pesa itarudi.
In 2 weeks' time, you have money
back. Shock on me. Anyway, so I sat and went back into the rat race, looking for a job. Now I was clear. I'm not going to work for a local company. I'm going to work remotely. So I started looking, searching. I landed on a website called Indeed. Now I was clear. I'm looking for freelance project management role. So I search. I come up. I get, I see a post. I apply. I waited 2 weeks. They're not responding. I nudged them. I tell them I sent my application on this and this date. So the HR responded. I was like, okay. So they asked me a few questions. Are you available 40 hours a week? Have you done, I think, translations? At that point, I didn't even know what translations is. Do you use cut tools? I'm like, yeah. I use them. It was like, okay, let's set up for a meeting, an interview.
Question: did you actually know how to use cut tools?
No, I didn't know what. The only 2 cuts I know: cut the animal and cut the caterpillar. The one for demolishing. Those are the ones I knew. I didn't know there was something called cut tools.
So it's really important. I think it's really important that we piggyback on this, because the first interview you had, you were asked, have you worked remotely? You said yes, when indeed you hadn't worked remotely. The second question, quite literally, right? Then they asked you another question. I forget it now, but you didn't have experience on that, and then you said yes. So this is another company, and they ask you whether you have used CAT tools.
Yes.
And you say yes.
Yes.
So if there's anything that you take away from this video, please, kupambana ni uko mbele.
Yes.
Right? Like you get to know whatever it is that they're using, uko mbele. Do research, in short. Long and short of it. So
I remember I was like, no, what are these CAT tools? Google very fast, YouTube CAT tools. There are translation tools. So I went in for the first interview. It was really nice. And I really liked how they conducted the interviews because it was more of a conversation. And thankfully, because I had just traveled from Germany, I had a conversation to pick up from, right? So, their interests are like, what do you do? And like, I just came back from Germany. Your company is based off in Germany. So they like, what did you like? I was like, I liked the Oktoberfest, but I missed it. The beers, there was so much to talk about. And that really intrigued them. The fact that you're your own person outside work.
Yes.
Then, of course, now they went into the details of these CAT tools. By that time, I had studied. I slept in YouTube looking for these CAT tools, understanding. So they asked me, in your previous company, what did you use? So there was a slight similarity in terms of work, but I was able now to take what I had in the US company, what I had learned and what I was doing to coin it to what this ones needed me to do. Okay. So I had worked remotely. I was available 40 hours a week. And by this time round, I now knew at least the value of the dollar. Yeah.
Yes.
So now I knew how to negotiate.
It was no longer $8 an hour.
It was no longer $8 an hour. So I was like, okay. But by this time, the dollar, I think, was rising. So at some point I felt, hey, I'm asking for too much. But now they negotiated, but we met midway.
Awesome. So I have to do a little housekeeping, and I forgot. We should have started with this. If you're watching this and you like this video, or you're enjoying our conversations with Miss Njau, go ahead and give us a like, subscribe to this channel, because that then helps us, kind of gauge whether you are enjoying this, conversations and whether you're finding value on this channel. So go ahead and do that.
So I did 5 interviews.
Okay.
Wow. One was 5 hours, I remember.
5 hours long?
Yes, being monitored, because they were like, you know how to use CAT tools now. Show us how to...
Proof is in the pudding.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, nearly sweat. Wow. I was like, God, you did not bring me up to this point to put me to shame.
Yes.
We are going through with it. I went.
Did the YouTube tutorials help?
They did. Oh, they did. Google everything. I even downloaded the free trials. I did everything I could. So I passed the interview. I was even shocked to myself that, I got this. My mind is actually brilliant.
Yes.
The mind can understand concepts. If you put your mind to it, for sure, you're going to get it. So then I remember they told me, since it was a translations company, they told me to translate a piece of passage into my native language.
Okay.
So, because I told them Kiswahili is my native language. Because they had asked me, what other languages do you speak? I told them I speak English, Swahili, and a little bit of my mother tongue. They're like, okay, which is your mother tongue? So, and then they were really intrigued by Africa. So I came to understand I was the only African in the organization.
Nice.
They've never hired from there. So
you're a diversity hire?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was really, happy. So I met the director who was also very pleasant. And it was more, I'd say 90% of the organization was women. Okay.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah. So I went in, then I remember they gave me 1 month for training. Yeah, so they took me through a lot of training. But of course, they bound me because we can't invest all this training of these CAT tools.
Yeah. And
then you disappear on us.
Go to a competitor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I joined the company. Exactly a month later, that was November 2nd. That's when I started my new job. I was like, So that's why was I even stressed?
Why were you getting depressed?
Why was I getting depressed? And
asking yourself whether you can.
And it's funny how all the jobs I've had in between, other than the one that I took a break, in between has been exactly a month before my last role, things happening and me getting onboarded into a new job. It's always been a month. So but it's like the mind sometimes forgets. So 1 month in, November 2nd, start my job, training, no hustle, have my contract. These ones were even good enough. They sent me tools of trade.
Nice. Yeah. What do you mean? They
sent me a computer. They sent me monitor because the role needed me to have 2 monitors.
Okay.
So I was like, wow, these guys are serious.
Did you incur any cost?
No.
Please, point to note.
Absolutely no cost. They actually
was scammed.
So they actually sent me the items from Germany, and they just told me to write your home address. This is when you expect, and everything. They asked me if I have a desk, if I have.
Were they gonna buy you a desk?
Imagine they would. Just that me, I was so honest. I was like, yeah, I have a home office.
I was also standing desks.
Yeah, I didn't know. So they sent me. Then they told me, so the money we are paying you, it should cover your internet, your medical, and everything. They expect me to have mental health break days as well. You must take vacation.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was really good. So
how many days PTO? Just so that people know how good this is.
How many are they? I think 15.
15 PTO.
Yes.
Paid.
Yes, paid. Yeah. So like, okay, got this, back on the grind, remote worker.
Earning in foreign currency.
So now I was earning in euros.
Ooh, which is even better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well. So I started off working. Now at this point, but I kept tabs with my local employer because he was a friend and he really molded me. So I asked him, I told him, things have been thick, I understand, but I'm still willing to support when things are not, because competition in that industry is stiff. Okay? So when we now got into it is when we realized, whoa, things are really thick. But I told him, I'm still available if you need me to do something for you. 100%. He was like, perfect.
I want to say, the saying that you cannot pour from an empty cup?
Yes.
That is you. Because now it's 1 month in, you've signed a contract, you're earning in euros.
Yes.
They've literally sent you home office equipment. So it looks like it's a legit company.
It is.
Now you go back to your boss and you're like, I can then offer support.
Yes.
But then from my perspective, I don't think you'd have been able to do that if you hadn't gotten a job yet.
Yes, because at this point I just felt everyone was my enemy. Like, why are you firing me? Why are you letting go of my contract? What did I do? But now in retrospect, I'd understand from, he's an entrepreneur. So he'd understand from the business perspective, things are not going on well. Yeah. So he needs to cut his costs because he's incurring so many costs. So I told him, I'll work for you on the weekend. I'm available. Okay. Yeah. These are my terms. Just pay me per day. But I just don't want, because I am the kind of person who gets attached to projects that I do. So this was a baby I had seen from birth. I mean, the company bringing it up and seeing for what it was. I was not going to let go easily. And he was so accommodative. He was like, I really needed to hear something. I really needed to hear that.
Yeah.
So I used, for the for the German company, it was strict 8 to 5 because now we are in the same time zone. Yes. Okay, not really the same, but 1 hour or 2 hour difference.
Yeah.
So this one I needed to be strict. And this one, your work hours are monitored. You have to clock in. Start your timer, stop. So if you forget to start your timer, man, too bad, you're not going to get paid. How will they know that you worked? So that one really needed me to say that, Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, home office,
8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah. I mean, after all, they've given you equipment.
Yes.
Question. So when you say you're being time tracked, how about lunch hour? Or when you need to go, let's say, for a bathroom break? How does that work?
Okay. Bathroom breaks you can have. You can leave your timer running.
Okay.
But if you need to have lunch, just coordinate within your teams. Because not everyone can go for lunch at the same time. So when the day starts, you say, I want to take my break at, 1 to 2. You stop your timer, go relax, take a walk, eat. Then you come back. Yeah, that's how it was. And then the timers also used to take screenshots of
what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when
you can't be watching YouTube videos.
Exactly, and you say you're working.
Yes.
So again, that is how remote companies are now tracking what you're doing, because it's very easy for you to steal company time.
Yes.
Very easy. You'd say you're on your computer, but you're not. But of course, the thing is, they're not capturing your face. They're just capturing what activity is going on the computers they have given you. Yeah.
Important to note.
And these computers have been, set up in a way you can't really watch YouTube videos. There's some sites you can't go on because of data protection. Yeah, you're handling a lot of data, company data and data of other organizations. So it's very important. Sometimes even when you leave your laptop, they can lock it from wherever they are. So it was very important. So yeah, I continued working. So I started actively working in January because November, December, I'm still understanding these catch tools, because there are many of them, how to work each one of them, understanding our clients. And remember, so I'm working for a translations company where we translate anything and everything from one language into over 200 languages. But I speak none of those languages. Me, it's my two languages, English and Swahili. So most of our content, the requests are coming in German.
Okay.
So I have to translate them, understand what the client is saying. And then I respond to them. I write in English, someone proofreads, I send it back. But it's over time you get used to it. And it was really interesting. So one of the most, like I said, I was the only African working for the company. And, I felt special. Until I came to learn about the German culture. Those guys are cutthroats. To them it's kind, but to me, I just felt like, you guys, why are you so hard on me? Because you see in the morning, I'll be like, hi, how are you? You're well? Them, they're like, hi, I want ABCD. Me, I'm like, you don't even know if my cat died.
That is interesting, because when you're talking about the US company, there was a lot of chit-chatter going around, right? Like small talk. Like, let's talk about the weather, your travel, etc. And now it's a German company.
Wow.
And it's very straight to the point.
Straight to the point. Even how they give you feedback, you actually feel as if they're attacking you. So I suffered the first 3 months. To a point I used to cry. So I remember the director. We just come from a meeting with my boss, and I was like, wow, you're so mean. Like, where's your love? I mean, just ask me how I am. Ask me whether Nairobi is raining or there's thunderstorms or something.
Yeah, or flooded.
Yeah, or if I've eaten. Yeah, or what I did over the weekend. Then they're like, no, Catherine, you're wasting too much time in talk. So I was like, okay. So I remember I teared. And then afterwards, there was a meeting now with the director. So I think the director picked my eyes and picked my energy was low. She was like, could I have a meeting with you? I'm like, yeah. She's like, what's happening? You look so sad. I'm like, yes, I am sad. Like, you guys are so mean. I just feel attacked. Is it because I'm black? I actually asked them that. Because it was like, is it because I'm black? Am I like I don't know anything? Like, you guys. So she picked already that there was a cultural difference.
Yes.
Here. And now she called for a town hall and said, like, guys. So she even I remember she put rules. It's like, before you ask someone whatever you want, just get to know their well-being.
Wait. What is a town hall for those viewers who don't know?
Town hall is where you just call the entire company into a meeting, make a big announcement, or, just
like a baraza.
Yes, like a baraza. Tell them the plans for the year, how the company, are we operating on losses or profits? But this one was now more of culture.
Because of you played the race card.
Yes, I did. So she calls everyone, and then so the company is the bits of 90% of the people in Germany. There's me, 0.0001, who's in Africa. There's those in Serbia, then there's those in the United States, and then there's those in London. So it so happened that even other team members were feeling the same, just that they never voiced it. But me, because I'm vocal, I say it as it is. So we were told, now moving forward, because most of our conversation is online and typing, you need to be empathetic. Remember, people are different. So that changed, and everyone who speaks to me, hi Kathy, how are you? How's the weather? Yes. How's your weekend?
Yes.
So it became more relaxed and it helped me ease into the work. But you see, that step and that gesture really warmed my heart. I was like, these guys are actually very nice people. They actually hear. So we give feedback. So I eased into my role, and they made it they made it so easy for me to work extra hard. Oh, I am a hard worker. I Kujituma is my other name. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's very easy for someone to see someone who's energetic and someone who loves to do what they do. It's very easy to pick up.
Yes.
Of course, we'd get feedback. They like my energy. They like my, my social spirit. Because now I even started teaching them Swahili words. Yeah, I started teaching them Swahili. Like, say hello is jambo. So all my conversations to date is jambo. Everyone. Yes. So even when they
jambo are the same.
Nice one. So then even when anyone speaks to me, they say hi to me in Swahili. Because and that warms my heart.
Yeah.
So I worked, a remote worker, enjoying the
Kenyans are hard workers.
Oh yes, we are. Oh yes, we are hard workers. Yeah. So I came to understand that in as much as I was an African, even something, but and this is something very interesting. Like Africans, you're put at a low wage, which is so unfortunate. You'll find them, they're getting paid maybe $27 an hour. You're here uku $10 an hour. But because of where we live, and when at that point I remember the dollar was rising, me I'm uku enjoying. I'm like, you guys continue complaining. Me, it's like I'm having a salary increase every month.
I mean, they justify it with, living cost and whatnot.
They do. But as well, you need to show them, like, prove to them that you're actually very knowledgeable. You have the experience. You have to fight for yourself. Yeah? Me, I didn't. I was just so happy there's a new job. I just grabbed it just to recover from my perambulating. Yeah? So I worked. It was nice. They can pick up when you're just so stressed that just take the day off. Just go relax.
Employee well-being.
Yeah, sip some margaritas. They encourage a lot of that. Yeah, so I continued working all of 2022, 2 months, 2023, then come 2024. Hey. I was not prepared for what was to happen in 2024. May 20th. Yeah. So I'm there working. A town hall, an urgent town hall was called for. I was like, what's wrong? So the company announces that it's not doing well. The last year was closed with, I think, losses. And unfortunately, the people who were going to leave, they were like, there was no easing into it. It's like this.
German style.
Yes. My heart sank.
It is funny you mentioned that, because 2024, they experienced losses. And then in May, they're thinking about barely 6 months into the new year.
Yes.
They're thinking about restructuring.
Yes.
Again.
So, I remember she announced like 3 people. We've decided to start with 3 people. My heart sank because I was like, God, not again. And then they were like, so after the meeting, the 3 people will be called. So no one worked after that because no one knows who's who. So I'm just there on my computer. I can't think. Unfortunately, the call came through. Hi.
Once again.
My heart didn't even sink. My heart left me.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
My heart left me. Because I was like, not again. So I remember the MD was just there talking to me. I'm just looking at her. And then I'm looking at her through the computer. I can't hear what she's saying, but she's talking. And I'm just like, okay. It's like, your last working day will be, I think, next week. Like, you've not even prepared me. And you see, now because I had really set myself, I had started in some investments and everything. Then now you're telling me you're yanking away my job. And this time around, I was very clear. I'm not working any other job, because with this job, you could not do any other full-time job during the day. Because it would be easy for you to get caught. But my weekend stint was still there. I listened to her. I told her, okay. I remember I cut the call. I went and sat outside my balcony, breathing like an elephant. I was like, no, what is this? I was crying. I'm like, not again.